spend money on travel. It's the only thing that you spend money on that makes you richer. And it does. It makes you so much richer.
Mandy Brooke.
Mandy Brooke.
Mandy Brooke.
An entertainer, podcast host, and content creator.
Having almost 1 million followers on her main channel.
Famous for her relatable humor.
And inspiring other women.
There was always something in the back of my mind that I wasn't fulfilling my potential. Sometimes you don't know what you want. Every single time I didn't trust my gut, I've always regretted it.
How do you start to hone in on trusting your gut, trusting where you need to be in this moment? Because I feel like a lot of people have trouble with that.
It started when I separated. Women are often the executioner of their own relationships when their intuition won't shut the fuck up. Your frequency is like risen to the point of your potential. Everything is limitless and effortless.
Somebody's listening and they want to actively try to start raising their vibration. What is that and where does someone start?
Well,
welcome back, everyone, to Diary of an Empath. My next guest is Mandy Brooke. Mandy is a relatable comedy queen, a brilliant content creator, and the hilarious mind behind her viral sketches with over, I think you're at 1 million followers, or you're pretty close, right?
Almost on Instagram. It's like 929,000 right now.
So you grew since the last time I wrote this. Mm-hmm. She's known for her infectious humor, razor-sharp wit, and ability to make life's most chaotic moments feel wildly entertaining beyond her comedy. And she's also the host of the Broken Bitches Guide podcast, and she's an amazing singer. Mandy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So what you guys don't know is this is our third attempt.
Yes. So the first attempt got thwarted because I decided to stay in London or detour my whole travel to London. And I had like the craziest weekend of my life. So I appreciate you like rescheduling with me. And then the second time, there was like a water leak or
we had a gas leak in the building.
Oh my gosh.
So there was a gas leak. Everybody got detoured out and we had to cancel. And this is the third time's the charm. We made
third time is the charm. We manifested it.
We did. And we were just talking. You live close to me, which I had no idea. So I was following you. You don't know. I've been stalking you for like a year. And I didn't realize that you lived in New Smyrna, which is like 30 minutes away from Orlando. So I'm like, we got to make it happen.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We did. We finally made it happen.
And we are here. We are here,
yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I love it. Okay. So for those that follow you and those, I really want to focus on those that don't. So for the people who are listening right now, this is the first time they're ever seeing you. They don't know who you are. What do people need to know about you and your background to understand who they're looking at today? I feel like that's important.
That's a really good question. Well, I always say, let me introduce myself to you so you can introduce yourself to yourself. I really try to show like my authentic side. And every single time I post something, I always get the comments like, hey, you remind me of my best friend, or you remind me of me, or you remind me of someone. And that is the relatability that I really want to portray to my audience. Like, I am you, you are me. Let's figure this out together. Life is crazy and confusing, and what the fuck? Like,
facts.
So I make up funny songs about, driving in my car and poo stories that my best friend like shit and like the house and clogged my toilet, like those types of things that, everybody has those stories, and I just share them online for millions of people to watch. And it's scary at times, but that's me.
there's therapy with, it's therapeutic in a way to like heal in front of millions of people.
Yes, very much so.
It's a little scary, but a little therapeutic, right? Like we all have those crazy stories that we're too embarrassed to talk about, but they're so relatable.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we can get to some of those songs later, because there's some that are just, I need you guys to hear this and understand. Some are about dicks, some are about Thanksgiving and lots of others that she's written. So behind the comedy, let's go back a little bit. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your background. Where'd you grow up and how did you get to this space now? Because you weren't always in the social media field. You weren't always in like the comedic field. No. You did music for a long time.
When I tell people now who have known me my whole life that like, oh, I'm doing comedy now, they're like, what? Because they know me as being funny in small rooms, but they don't realize that what I do. But basically, I grew up in New Smyrna Beach. I was playing music my whole entire life. I would play gigs, and that's what I would do for high school and all throughout school. And then I signed to a publishing deal pretty early on, like around 17. I was traveling back and forth to Nashville for a while, writing with amazing people. And I thought that I was going to be a songwriter. Like I was going to be a published songwriter. I was going to have song cuts out the wazoo. That was the path that I wanted to be on. And then I met my husband, and things kind of just changed a bit, as things do when you get into a big relationship. But at the time, I was 20 and I didn't know anything about dating. I never really dated at all before that. And it was just kind of like a coming of age type of moment. My 20s were very different than other people's 20s. Because I was basically a housewife. I was doing entertainment and music, but I was cooking my husband dinner, and I was cleaning the house, and we had a house and a cat and a dog and all of the things. But there was always something in the back of my mind that I wasn't fulfilling my potential. I wasn't where I needed to be. And it had nothing to do with him. It had everything to do with me. And even though I was making like strides in my entertainment career, I was acting, I was doing some modeling on the side and still continuing to do music, but it just felt like something wasn't clicking. And that's when everything kind of started for me. Like as soon as I acknowledged my intuition and acknowledged the fact that I wasn't in the right place, that's when everything started happening.
You know, it's interesting because I feel like sometimes things feel like on paper they're the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. Like I've been in a situation before, like I dated a guy, and I'm always upset that I'm like, I always feel like there's not a lot of great quality men. Right. And I meet this guy, he's great. On paper, it's wonderful. Right. But there's just something that I'm like, just doesn't click. And I feel like sometimes we try to make a square fit in a circle.
Yes.
When it's just not fitting, and we're just like, we're going to fucking make this shit fit, right? Like we want to make it fit, but there's just something that doesn't feel in alignment. And I think that sometimes the universe will push you and push you and push you until you finally can't take it no more to put you on a different path. And it sounds like that's kind of what was happening for you.
Yeah. God will whisper at you, be like, hey bitch, you may not want to. And then it's going to turn into a boulder like years past, and then you're not going to be able to ignore it. And I knew I married when I was 23, and I separated when I was 30, and it was the hardest decision I've ever made in my life. It was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever done, because I was repotting myself. Like I had grown as much as I could in the planter that I was planted in. And now it was time for me to like get out into the yard and grow into a tree that I really wanted to be. But I had no idea how to grow into a tree, you know?
It's scary. I think change is scary in general, right? Especially when you're like in that transition. And you're probably right in your like Saturn return.
Oh, yes. Bitch. Oh my God. Let's talk about it. I love astrology. I love that.
Wait. All right, do you have any Leo in your chart?
Yes,
I
do.
Knew it. I knew I could do it. Okay. What are you? What's your big three?
Okay. So Virgo, I just found out I'm a Cancer as well.
That
like
makes sense.
Yeah. Because I'm like super emotional. I cry all the time. And then I'm a Leo as well.
I knew you were a Leo.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's got to either be a Leo sun or a Leo rising, because you're very just like, I'm here, like, let's do it. Not in an egotistical way. It's not that. It's just like the theater kid who just loves to be in the theater. So yeah, that makes total sense. So you were in your Saturn return.
Yeah.
Your life probably just was like turned completely upside down.
And the crazy thing about that is I had a spiritual teacher at the time, right after my separation and divorce. And he said, it's so crazy because all of my clients who are women, they come to me when they're about around the ages of 27 to 30. And he said, it's every 7 years, a woman's cycle like recycles. So it's the turning point. It's the crossroads. What path are you going to choose, every 7 years? And if you go back to your life, you'll recognize, like, maybe not when you're 7 years old, but when you're 14, like, oh, this happened. And what's 7 years after 14? I suck at math.
21.
21. I cannot.
I'm a therapist. I'm not a mathematician. Okay. So,
but you can recognize that. And that really made me feel more comfortable about the awakening that I was having. I didn't realize it at the time. I was having a spiritual awakening or a dark night of the soul. And it was brutal. But then that was the same time that I went viral on the internet. Like, as soon as I decided to shed myself of the things, and I don't mean to sound brutal when I say that, because my ex, he's a beautiful person. I love him. But when I decided to like move on, that's when things started really opening up. But alongside of that, that's when the worst things in my life started happening. So high highs, low lows, but that's what a spiritual awakening is all about.
Yeah, it's not fluff and butterflies. It sometimes for some people maybe it can be, right? But it is brutal because those awakenings require change. Change is hard. We don't like to change. We like to gravitate to what's familiar to us. And what's familiar is not always great. Sometimes it's toxic. Sometimes it doesn't serve us. And when we're fighting that change, it feels scary. The unknown is scary. I think when I went through my Saturn return, I was going through a divorce. I had met someone new. I was going through a nasty breakup. I had resigned. I was working at a prison.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it was horrible.
You know what?
Horrible.
I could see that, bitch.
Really?
Yeah. Like you seem like a tough girl. You know what I mean? Like nothing gets past you. Like I could totally see that.
So I'm a
little bit.
I'm a Libra sun and a double Capricorn. So I think that's my Capricorn.
You're double Cap. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. So my Libra is kind of mushy, right? That I'm very empathic. And once you get to know me, and depending on the person's energy, I can be very soft. But that Capricorn can sometimes like make money, let's work, let's put on the tough face, right? And I went into the prison. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And it was absolutely horrible. It was just the drama. And then everything was happening all at once. But I look back at that transition at the time, I'm like, this is the worst time of my life. But I look back at it, I'm like, oh my God, I needed that to get to where I'm at right now. Because if those things wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have been able to be right now where I'm at. And I couldn't see it at the time, right? For you have this transformation, then you go through this time where it gets kind of quiet, right? You stop doing the music. You decide to take a break, and then your life changes. How?
Yeah. So yes, 2020, I decided to take a break from music because I had just gotten burned, and then went through all of that with my husband. And then at 30, I just got dropped off into this wild world of dating, this wild world of like, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. I'm delivering bread for a bread company, Dutch oven bread company. Hey, what up?
They just sponsored, by the way.
They just got they just got a retail spot on Canal Street in New Smyrna Beach, and they're the best bread in Volusia County. So get you some.
Okay,
but
noted in.
So talking no shade, but I was like sobbing in this delivery food van, not knowing what I'm doing with my life. And if that wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have made up these songs trying to make myself laugh that took me to virality or whatever on the social media. What was your original question?
I don't remember, but that's okay. What was the transition? But so what was the first viral song that ended up kind of changing everything for you?
It was Dua Lipa's Levitating, and it was Humidity. So it was like, I got ew, boob sweat, swamp ass, bitch, I need a pool. I'm gross. Please don't dance with me. I'm fucking sweaty. And that was it.
I love it.
It was like a cute little clip. And I remember talking to my friend Candace, who owns Dutch Oven, and she said, Mandy, you need to post that. It's really funny. I was like, oh, I don't know. And I remember being in front of Walmart on June 13th at 11:11 in the morning.
That's crazy.
You'll appreciate it. I have it a screenshot and everything. And something inside me was like, you need to record this right now, and you need to post it right now. And it was so weird. So I did it, and I edited it, posted it, forgot about it on TikTok, everything. And then like 3 days later, it was like hitting 1 million views.
That's crazy.
And the crazy thing, and I don't want to get too much into personal detail, but like I was hitting 1 million views in my family living room as this insane tragedy was happening. So it was like such a dichotomy of feelings. I was like, I've always wanted this in some sort of way, but then the worst things ever were happening at the same time. And I had to learn how to balance that. Like, how do I find joy in this trauma? How do I transmute my brokenness into power? Mm-hmm. And that's really what my content is all about. I'm going to get emotional because I'm a Cancer, but I'm a Virgo Cancer. But that's what I really want to show people. Like, you can find the joy and the play in literally any time in your life, anytime. When my mom was sick and I was driving her back and forth from the hospital, I was taking the scenic route when I was by myself and I was singing in the car. And that was the only way that I was able to like survive that. And then, when I was going through my breakup. I was singing random songs, went viral. I didn't mean to, but things start happening when you really accept where you are and you really try to transmute it from where you are as well.
You talk about short clips, right? So tell me about that and how did that help you?
Short clips?
So I was listening to one of your podcasts and you were talking about how these kind of utilizing these short clips in your life helped you kind of attract and kind of get you on that vibration that you needed to be on.
Yes. So short 5-second clips or 10-second clips, whatever. When you envision your life, sometimes in manifestation, it's a little bit of pressure because sometimes you don't know what you want. You don't know exactly what you want, but you can see little whispers of what you want in your future. So instead of me imagining like, I'm going to do this, this, and this, I'm going to tour the world, I'm going to do this, I just thought of myself in my future home, listening to fun music with my dog, feeling the feelings. And that was like a 10-second clip. And then I would imagine a 10-second clip of me making out with, Jason Momoa. And then I would like, yeah, girl, if I ever meet Jason Momoa, if me and Jason Momoa like got together, honestly, I would have to delete so much social media content.
Mandy, if that happens, I will be a threesome. Like,
oh my God,
I will
can we
totally
please
do a threesome with you. So Jason, if you're listening,
hey Jason.
Oh wait, are we a quadrusome? What does it mean when you have 4?
It just means it's a party.
Okay,
honestly.
I mean, do we need to get the producer involved? If Jason's involved, I'll do anything.
You know what? Jason is the only wiener that I want sent in my DMs. That's the only.
Okay, well, wait.
But go back to. We'll go back to the.
Wait. But speaking of wieners and the DMs, okay, so we're on the topic. Let's go with it. Okay, have you had a pickle sent into your DM before?
Oh, so many times.
How do you feel about it, and why do you think they do it?
That's what I'm like. That's a veiny. It's scary. I'm so scared. It's so aggressive. It's the most aggressive thing that you can do, unless it's solicited. Unless I like
ask you for
unless
it.
I'm like, hey,
let me
see. But if it's just unsolicited and you're just, it's like being punched in the face almost.
I never understood why guys do that. Like, do they think that we want it? Do they think we like it? Or maybe, do you think that there's just some girls that really like it?
I think some girls really like it, and that's fine. Hey,
yeah.
if do you, girl, do that dick too. But for me, it's like, I'm kind of a little bit I'm a good girl, I need
until you're not.
Until I'm not.
Right. But that's like, don't send me a dick pic. So you wrote a song, right?
Yes, I wrote a song called the Pickle Song.
Would you play it?
Yeah, sure.
Let's play it.
I'll play it.
All right, let's play the Pickle Song. Okay, so part of what you guys need to understand is that she writes these incredibly relatable, funny songs. You can move the mic.
I'm stuck. I'm scared. So this is the Pickle Song. I wrote it after I received a pickle in my DMs after a Hinge match. And I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I'm done. So here it goes. Don't send me your pickle in my DMs. Don't send me your pickle in my DMs. Unless you want me to sit around with all my friends and make fun of your little pickle. Don't want to see it far away. Don't want to see it up close. Don't want to see it popped up on your balls. That's gross. Even if it hangs low, it still looks like a troll. Don't want to see your motherfucking pickle. Don't send me your pickle. Send me your pickle in my DMs. That's a little bit of a sample.
Oh my God.
You can stream it on Spotify if you'd like.
That's fantastic.
It's the truth. It came from my heart, soul, and tater.
That was absolutely beautiful. You have a new song, right? You have a new song out.
I have a song called Orthopedic Hoe about needing to only wear orthopedic shoes from now on because I can't wear heels.
Well, wait. So you have the guitar in your hand, so we need to just go here. So before we started recording, we talked about book talk.
Oh,
and we got to talk a little bit about this because there's a song that you have about this. Mm-hmm. But before we start, for those of you that have read The Fourth Wing, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Zayden's daddy And he's going to be in that Jason Momoa threesome. But I'll take Zayden over Jason any day, 100%.
Okay. So I'm on chapter 22.
Okay.
I am still like a novice, like fourth wing, but I love violence, like the violence.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, fourth wing, you know what I'm talking about. But I have a song coming out with a very awesome creator. Her name is Fairy Day. Farideh. She has this song called Female Body, which is so funny. It's gone crazy viral. But her and I are friends. And we were talking about how much we love smut novels. And we were like, oh my God, let's write a song about smut, like smut sluts. So she had me feature on that song, and it's really funny, but it's not a guitar song. It's actually techno.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
It's like a techno thing. So I wouldn't know how to
Okay, so we can't get a sample yet, but it's coming out.
Yes, on the 14th.
Okay.
I'm sure by the time this podcast airs, it'll be out.
Okay,
but Smut
perfect.
Slut by Fairy Day and Mandy Brooke. You can hear it on Spotify and everywhere on platforms.
Okay, well, let's get a little sample of the Ortho song since you already have it in your hand.
Oh, sure. So this song very close to my heart as well, because I really loved wearing heels when I was in my 20s, but I absolutely destroyed my feet. And now I have a nerve between my toes that will actually just absolutely just kill me. So it's called Orthopedico. I'm on the hunt for orthopedic shoes that make me feel like a slut. Yeah, I need to find casual comfy that'll help me bump and grind. Cause I found in my 20s wearing shoes that were no good for me. Now the nerve between my toes paired with my varicose, it's giving geriatric rather than a hoe. I wanna feel like a whore, but I can't, cause I can't wear heels anymore. I wanna feel like a hoe, but I can't, cause I can't wear heels no more. So all my flat foot bitches in the club, holler fuck yeah. Flat foot bitches in the club, holler fuck yeah. Heels no more. I guess orthopedic shoes are the way to go. Oh no. A little sample.
Oh my gosh.
But that's on all streaming platforms as well.
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Let's get the guitar back safely. Oh my gosh. I am like in tears. That was freaking awesome.
Thank you for letting me.
Oh no, that is amazing.
I'll readjust.
No, I mean it's so freaking relatable. But I'm not going to give anything away on the fourth wing. You just have to, once you get to the second book, just stay off of TikTok. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Because I made the mistake to go on TikTok and I got a spoiler and I was pissed. So just don't type in anything on your algorithm to get anything fourth wing, because
I won't.
Yeah, it gets really, really, really juicy.
The only thing that I look up, and my friend Shallon, she got me into this, is like looking up the graphics, like the illustrations of the sex scenes. I'm like so into that. I'm like, if porn is outlawed in Florida, fine, it's great. Let me look at like fake people. Yeah. No, I am so into that.
It's just, well, I mean, it is kind of pornographic, but it's great.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so amazing.
It's just, listen, for you guys that are, like, if you haven't read any type of novels or if you're gonna do anything, the fourth wing, Okatar, and there's one more, but the fourth wing is just
I
great.
read all of the ACOTAR books, listened to them. I'm a Nesta fan. I love her.
Okay, I haven't started yet.
Oh my God, you haven't started ACOTAR, bitch.
I haven't.
You need to fucking read that. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
You're gonna, okay. Fourth wing is cool.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, it is cool, but she took a lot of stuff, or I don't know who wrote what first, but she took a lot of stuff probably from the ACOTAR in the sense of like, ACOTAR is so much more encompassing of an atmosphere and just the plethora of like hot men.
Oh,
when you get to the point where I think it's the summer solstice or something, and she's walking in the fields or whatever, just like text me and let me know, because that's when I'll bust in with some wine and be like, "Hey, bitch, it's time. It's gonna get really good."
Okay, all right, noted.
Book.
So right as soon as I'm done with this one, I'm gonna start, because I already have the books. They're in my house. They're on my shelf. I just have to read them.
Oh my god.
So okay, so for those of you listening, don't give us any spoilers, but go get these books, and when that song comes out, we will definitely stream it, because we just need some We need some Zayden in our life. So
Oh my gosh. It's good. It's really good. You're gonna really love Resand, and
I'm excited. So speaking of intuition and manifesting, you have your daily affirmations baddie edition. I want to know what yours are and how have they helped you?
Did you guys know that I'm not only a therapist, but I'm also a coach and a professional tarot reader? Now, it's not exactly me hovering over a crystal ball telling your future. It's a way to connect with your guides on life issues such as career and love and spirituality. And sometimes people need one-on-one coaching to help them through breakups, toxic relationships, healing the mother wound, their spiritual path, or navigating tools as an empath. So I do all of these things to help my clients pursue life and decisions and understand themselves. So if you are interested in one-on-one coaching or a tarot reading, click the link below to get started. Okay, back to the podcast.
My daily baddie affirmations kind of go as follows. Abundance flows freely and effortlessly to me. Wealth, I attract wealth in all of its comforts, and I embrace prosperity in all forms. Those are the 3 that I say to myself every single day. I also have this meditation practice that I do with, I love Tantra. And so it's not sexual or anything. People have a misconception of Tantra that it's all sexual, but it's very much like you honor the goddess within you. You honor the goddess deity that you have in front of you. And it's really just like an energy. I love Ma Lakshmi. That's one that I honor. And, but yeah, I recite those affirmations every day. Sometimes I create new ones, but those are my main 3. And they've served me very, very well so far.
Do you feel like manifestation is tangible? Is it something that you feel like works? Because there's a lot of people who think that manifestation is just like this like woo-woo, hippie stuff. But I feel like there's 2 sides to it. I feel like there's some real science behind it.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like there's that spiritual component, but I feel like they're hand in hand.
I also feel like it really depends on your human design. Do you know? Are you
I know a
familiar with
little
it?
bit about human design. It's kind of like similar to astrology, but different.
Yeah, it's also mixed with psychology as well.
Okay.
You can be one of 4 archetypes, but it's basically like how you use your energy more efficiently. I'm a manifesting generator. So manifesting,
Me too. I'm a generator.
Yeah. So manifesting really works for us, like going forth in our lives. But if you're someone like a projector, you may align with something like, oh, I like to align my frequency rather than projecting or rather than manifesting, because manifesting is like trudging a new path. It's very hard in a sense sometimes for certain people. And that's okay. Not everybody is going to align with the act of manifesting, but you can implement certain things into your life, like affirmations. Thinking positively has never hurt a soul, I think. So thinking positively about your future, those are the things that are going to manifest what you want. And I know manifest is such like a hot keyword right now, but it's really just about creating the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
And just becoming it. Like you are, you attract what you are.
I have trouble with it sometimes. Like I believe in manifestation. I've done it in the past. I think where it's the hardest for me is dating.
Oh yeah.
We have these conversations all the time that it's so difficult because Orlando's hard. Are you single?
Yes.
Okay. So you get it. So New Smyrna cannot be any better than Orlando.
No.
Yeah, it's not. It's rough out here. So it's really hard for me to be like, it's happening. It's coming. I'm going to meet the man of my dreams. And I feel like that is really hard for me to like actually sit down and manifest and say it's coming, because what I see on these dating apps, and there's like the lack of in person, is so just the piss of the piss is here. And I can't seem to like switch my mindset. So what do you do? How do you do it?
I just, when I'm in that kind of stage, I don't want anything to come to me because I'm not in alignment with like what you're describing to me. I don't mean to call you out, but you're not in alignment with the person that you're supposed to meet. So instead of trying to manifest it and make it work, it's like you be grateful for what you have already. Like, oh
Mhm.
my God, that one date that I had was so nice. Like you pick the positive things out from the dating that you already have had. And it's almost like a magazine. Like you pick out the nice parts
Mhm.
and then you kind of create a picture for yourself. It's called Delulu for a reason, guys.
I feel like I'm going to manifest a husband who's not American. I feel like that's where I'm at.
Oh my God, I see that for you. His name's going to be Felipe or something.
I really feel strongly in my heart that it is going to be like while I'm on a plane or while I'm overseas.
Mhm.
And speaking of which, you did some solo travel.
Mhm.
I want to talk about dating, but I
Mhm.
want to hear about your solo traveling, because that's something that I think a lot of people want to do.
Yes.
And it's something that scares me.
Mhm.
And I'm curious for you what your experience was like, and like what lessons did you take for that? Did you go on a date while you were there?
I've been on plenty of dates abroad.
Okay. Tell me,
Oh my
please.
God, girl. Well, where do I start? Well, traveling has changed my life.
Same.
I went to Italy for the very first time on a group trip. It's actually with my friend Shallon, who is a YouTuber. And I was a fan of hers at the time, still am. And went on her group trip. It got the travel bug in me. And that's when I started like really like pursuing it. I went to Italy again, and then I had the opportunity to go to London and then Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix, and in 2023. And it was like the most wild, mind-blowing thing of my life. I'm like, it's literally because I got myself out of my comfort zone, put myself on a fucking plane with no plan, and met people.
Mm,
I met people, and then here I am in Monaco. What the fuck?
interesting.
And it was just, that's what did it for me. And then as far as the dating goes, God, well, I've only been really like dating in Italy. I mean, I had a little fling
It's
in
great.
in England, but like, I don't know. It's just men in Europe tend to be, especially in Italy, they tend to be a little aggressive, and so that gives me the ick. Like they're just like humping the air, hoping that a vagina comes close, and you're like trying to like scoot away. Like that's kind of what the impression that they give me. But my very first time by myself in Italy, I kissed a guy named Lorenzo the first day that I was there. He met me like in this alleyway, and then we ran into each other again. He was like, how are we going to run into each other again in Rome? Like, come on, like go on a date with me. And I was like, okay, I don't mean to stereotype Italians, but that's what they sound like. And and it was cute, but then he kissed me, and he stuck his tongue down my throat, and I was like, oh my God, this is awful. And then I left,
Wait, was that your first Italian experience?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was not an Italian. He was an Italian now. I don't even know, but it was bad. Anyway, I got a sore throat the next day, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, did he get you sick?
Oh, girl, he got me like, it was like a butt demon. It was the worst, the worst sickness.
Like a mono sick? Or
Oh yeah, something.
like a strep throat sick?
I thought I had COVID, but then I had taken tests and it was negative. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, there was so much coming out of my body. I didn't want to talk about it, but I shit myself in the Milan train station, like while I was going to Lake Como. It was awful. It was literally the most awful thing. And then I met a guy that looked like a really hot Harry Potter in Orvieto, Italy. He worked at a coffee shop, and I was just kind of like scoping out his coffee shop, you know, in this little village. And he had WhatsApped me, but I didn't see it. And it was like the last day, and he was like, Mandy, I WhatsApped you. I'm like, God dang it. Harry Potter, I would totally want to date with you.
Oh, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I need the experience
You
of
do.
at least like one European experience that I have. And the one time that I went to, I think I was in Switzerland, and I was like the southern part right next to Italy. And I met this guy on a bus, not my type, but he was so aggressive. He took my phone. I put my number in your WhatsApp. I'm Italian stallion. And I'm just like, where? Like they're, and he's sending me muscle pictures, and I'm like, I am not interested. Right. And so that was my only experience with that. But I don't know. I feel like at least every woman that's single needs one experience on vacation to just let loose and experience like a European fling.
Yeah.
I don't know, Gabriella, I feel like we need to go to Europe and have this experience.
You need to go. I did have one amazing experience with a friend of mine, now a friend of mine. His name's Fabio. And I met him on the Spanish Steps on my first trip whatever. I was walking down the Spanish Steps and I saw him like standing there and I looked at him and I was like, you, what? And we started talking and we went for Prosecco and we had like such a lovely evening and it was my last night in Rome and it was so beautiful. And then he kissed me in the middle of the square and it was like a movie and we took a cab back and he dropped me off at my hotel and nothing happened. But he ended up being like one of the best importers of Prosecco in Sicily. And he was there for a surgery for like in Rome or something. And every year he sends me like just beautiful like alcohol and stuff for Christmas. And it's just
a nice connection to have.
Yeah, like just you meet the most beautiful people. And yeah, it might just be for the evening or for a season, but they're always going to be a friend and except for Lorenzo. God. But you just have these like rich experiences. It's the quote that says travel, you spend money on travel, but it's the only thing that you spend money on that makes you richer. And it does. It makes you so much richer.
Yeah, I agree. Traveling changed my life too. And it just made me see the world differently. And I feel like a lot of us have trouble with staying in the moment and like just being mindful and enjoying those moments because like you talk about that and I think of you in the square in this romantic scene of just having the moment of the kiss, like this isn't going to be my husband, but just having that experience. And I think a lot of people are so worried about the what ifs, like is this going to be someone that I'm going to date forever? Does he like me? Am I going to get this job? And we're so worried about what's going to happen that we forget about the moment because we never get this moment back. We're never going to be this age again. Like I'm never going to be in this moment 39 again. And when I'm 59, I'm going to look back at this and be like, bitch, you should have just enjoyed exactly what was in front of you. So for you, like when you talk about your intuition, we're talking about mindfulness. How do you start to hone in on trusting your gut, trusting where you need to be in this moment? Because I feel like a lot of people have trouble with that.
Well, it started when I separated. Women are often the executioner of their own relationships when their intuition won't shut the fuck up. Really. When you start following it, that's when things start opening up. So that taught me like what my voice sounded like within. And the thing that I learned, hi plant. The thing that
don't die. It's plastic.
It's cool. I like plastic. The thing that I've learned from my friend Kino, who she does tarot readings on YouTube, she says that your intuition is a whisper. It is not a loud voice. It is a very small whisper. And like I said before, God will whisper to you, but then God will throw you a boulder when it's time. And you don't want that boulder to come, bitch. You don't want it to come. Like, I promise you. Listen to the whisper first. But that's how I learned the voice. And you can do it just simply too. You know, when you open your fridge in the middle of the night, your intuition's saying you probably shouldn't have Doritos and cream cheese in the same bowl. Like you probably shouldn't do that. But you're going to do it and you're going to feel like shit. And you're going to feel like shit. But that's how we ignore it every single day. So start just paying attention to it. It doesn't have to be a big event in your life.
You can start with the Doritos.
Yeah, and cream cheese. Doritos and cream cheese is the best combo.
That's weird.
Bitch, shut the fuck up. It is the best thing on the planet. It's like a family secret. Doritos and cream cheese.
I'm good.
You don't look like you eat anything like that.
I like to eat, but it's definitely not Doritos and cream cheese. Give me like some sushi and we'll call it a day.
Oh, I love sushi. It's my favorite.
I love tarot, by the way. Like so I do tarot readings and I know you do tarot readings.
I got Mystical Meg on my social media.
Listen, I have a very, very important question to ask you.
Yes.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. What do you think about the drones in New Jersey?
I don't want to be like banned off. I think I don't think
we're going to get banned by talking about it.
No, but I think my conspiracy on it is it's probably true. I don't know, but I don't think it's aliens. I think there may be something going on up there, but I don't think they're aliens on New Jersey. I think it's ours.
I don't know what's happening. I just keep seeing all these conspiracy theories, but I wouldn't doubt. Here's my thing. I think that we are living in a time where we're starting to like slowly get acclimated to things like, oh,
we're going into the 5D. For sure.
Right. Like you're going to start to see us now. And then you're not going to panic like you did in the 1940s. And people are like, oh my God, we're going to get taken over. No, it's kind of like we all know they're here.
Mhm.
I think that there are aliens. Like there's no fucking way that we're one planet in the billions of planets in our own galaxy and the billions of galaxies that are in the universe. There's trillions and trillions. Like it's narcissistic to think that we're the only ones that exist. I think aliens exist.
Absolutely.
And I think tarot and all of that, I think it's all interconnected.
Just kind of like the Akashi records and stuff. Like everything's like interdimensional. And do you do shrooms?
I've never done shrooms. I've done a lot of stuff, but I've never done shrooms.
Okay. I will tell you this. One time I was tripping on shrooms. I do them on like for spiritual purposes, not just not to party. I'm not really like that. It's all about spiritual experience. And I was meditating on them and I opened my eyes and all of a sudden I just saw like the netting of the fabric of like the dimension or something. It was so weird, but it was like white and I touched it and it would move. It was kind of like a spider web almost. And it had geometrical shapes and sacred geometry that I've never seen. And I'm like, there is something to this world. We're entering into like a fifth dimension where I believe like light workers, like I believe you're a light worker. I'm definitely one for sure. We're supposed to be leading the way in our own ways. And leading people into like a higher ascension. That's why I always talk about like raising your frequency, because once your frequency is like risen to the point of your potential, like everything is limitless and effortless. And that's why we're supposed to be here. I don't think it's supposed to be so hard. And going back to aliens, I think that I believe in interdimensional beings for sure.
Yeah.
I think they know how to travel and stuff. And they probably see us and they're like, okay, these people are rudimentarily like not okay.
Get it together.
And like the one thing that I did look at though with the drones was like the plasma. Did you see like the plasma videos? You're nodding. You know what I'm talking about. It's like this crazy plasma that's just like in the air and then all the drones are around it, like
that's
circulating.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. So I think that those may be something weird.
Interesting.
But you know Bob Lazar?
No. Am I like out of it with these things?
Gravitational propulsion.
Gravitational.
Interesting. She
Girl,
knows everything.
Do you
want to join the podcast?
Like, you know. But Bob Lazar, he was on Joe Rogan and all the things, and he's basically he was in the CIA or whatever, and he saw these UFOs. He saw them being built or reverse engineered in these warehouses and stuff in Area 51. And he came out about it in the 80s and people were like scoffing him as crazy. But then his whole career was destroyed. Every single trace of his past, his resume was completely erased. And now he's coming into the forefront again. He does not want attention at all. But he's coming into the forefront on Joe Rogan, on all of these podcasts saying this is real. Like, so that's why I think that the drones are us, really, especially if they are don't look like flying saucers.
But they're like connected in some way. I believe it. Our technology has just grown tremendously. And you talk about raising your vibration. So if somebody's listening, has no idea what vibrations are, or somebody's listening that does know and they want to actively try to start raising their vibration, what is that and where does someone start?
Well, I think a lot of people know that sound can manipulate so much. Sound frequency can manipulate shapes. It manipulates the nature. It manipulates everything. So why wouldn't it manipulate us? We are what, 85, 90% water?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not a scientist nor a mathematician. I don't know, but it manipulates us. So as long as you understand that, then you say, okay, if that can manipulate me, then I am frequency. And once I elevate my emotions are my antenna, right? That my emotions and my feelings, that measures my outer world. That's the only point of measurement. So if I can raise my feelings, raise my frequency, raise my emotions, then I'm going to be on a plane of existence that actually aligns with me. So, and it sounds complicated, but it's like, singing in your car to your favorite jams. It's making your space look really comfortable and cozy, and it just align with your frequency. It aligns with your coziness. It's cultivating your relationships with your parents. And if you have healthy parents, of course. It's those little things that raise your vibration. Like, what makes you the happiest? And what made you happy when you were a child? That's the key too.
Ooh, that's a big one.
The things that I loved doing when I was a kid was, and now people think that I'm crazy because I'm an adult, like sitting in my yard, you know, playing with dirt. But that's what I like to do. I like to put my hands in the dirt. I liked to lay on the ground. I didn't know it at the time, but I was regulating my nervous system when I was even a child. Now I'm an anxious fucking bitch. I need to lay on the ground more. But like, that's how I see like raising your frequency. I actually wrote a whole ebook about it. It's called Broken Bitch's Guide to a Higher Vibe: How to Go from Broken Bitch to High Vibe Babe in 5 Simple Ways.
And we'll link it for everybody to get it. It's such a good point because you know, we are energy, and that is measurable. That is a scientific fact. I interviewed, oh my God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's the director of the Math Heart Institute.
Oh yeah.
And it's such an interesting interview where they do a lot of research on our frequencies of our heart. And our heart actually has this really extended aura, and how that's all connected to the Schumann resonances with the Earth's field, and how we kind of get on that same vibration of the Earth's magnetic field. And there's no coincidence with that, right? And so there's a reason why when we have a full moon, the tides come in and the tides come out. And if we're energy, then I think that trusting your intuition can also feel like when you're around somebody who is not on that same vibration as you. Like, you guys hear the term bad, like, this person gives me bad vibes.
Yeah.
Or I just get such good vibes. Like, the moment you walked in, I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. Like, she's so easy to talk to, good vibes, right? But there's every once in a while you meet that person that you don't know who they are, but there's just something about them that feels off-putting. Doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's just something with the vibrations that it's just not in alignment with yours. Just don't mesh. Trust it, especially if it feels really icky, like, and you're like, man, those toxic vibes that you can pick up on. I think a lot of people ignore it, and they think that they're overthinking, and they end up going forward. But 9 times out of 10, when we look back, hindsight, it's like, oh, I should have trusted my gut.
Every single time I didn't trust my gut, I've always regretted it.
Same.
Because I think a lot of it comes from being a people pleaser too. You really want to see the best in that person. You really want to see, like, okay, this might work even though they smell bad. You know, don't ever date somebody that you don't like their smell.
I have to agree.
God, like, don't
Wait,
try to fit that square peg in a round hole.
Would you tell them?
No.
See, I would say something.
Really?
If
if it's their pheromones, if it's their cologne, yeah. But if it's not something that they can help, I'll just be like,
wait. What if they have bad breath?
I will totally tell them.
You'll say something if they have bad breath.
I would just give them like a piece of gum or something. I'd be like,
I actually would probably straight up say something. Like, let's say I go on a date with someone, or this has never happened, but if I really liked someone and they were really good looking and like checked the boxes, I may say something like, I don't know. Have you ever said anything?
no.
I don't know if I would, but I agree. Like, the hygiene thing is a big thing for me, and I'm not sure that I would go forward with that. But yeah, trusting your intuition is so big. Like, I remember dating this one guy. I'm not gonna call him out, but I got toxic vibes immediately from him. And when I tell you, like, textbook narcissist is kind of like thrown around really loosely. But when I tell you, like, DSM could diagnose this guy just complete overt narcissist, and everything in my body was rejecting him. And it's funny that you mentioned getting sick from that guy, because I got sick from him, and I'm like, my body is like rejecting his energy. I got physically sick. There's something in his energy that feels very, very dangerous. Stonewalling, the withholding sex, all of it. And I'm just like, I can't do this. And after 4 weeks,
I mean, it's called Diary of an Empath because you're an empath, and narcissists feed on empaths. That's their.
But I did a background check on him, and the dude had so many domestic violence charges. And I'm like, see, that's why you trust your gut, and you always do a fucking background check on people.
Oh my God.
Yep. And after that, I was like, absolutely, like, just completely got, I ended up doing like a home alarm system. I got so scared because this guy knew where I lived. But you got to trust your gut, ladies, because I watch too many crime shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A crime show that I've been listening to like crazy, talking about traveling and stuff. My friend has this podcast called True Crime Travelers. It is so good. If you like true crime, listen to that. It's not a plug. She's my friend, but I love it. I listen to it all the time. They do so well. But yeah, you have to listen to that instinct, because like if you're listening to this podcast, you're an empath. You know, if you're watching my content and you're a fan of me, then you're probably an empath. And you need to be very, very hyperly aware, because empaths tend to lean more into their feminine energy, and feminine energy is delicious. It's also delicious to people who really want to like vampirize it.
Yes.
Is vampirize a word? Did I just make up?
You might have made up a word, but that works.
Okay. But if it is a word, I didn't know it was. But yeah, we have to be very, very, very diligent and very careful.
All right, I have some audience questions.
Yeah.
All right, so I reached out to my audience, and for those that follow you, to see did they have any questions for you that they wanted to know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
I kind of picked like the top 6, 7 that came up. Okay, who is your favorite artist?
Zakk Wylde.
Who's Zakk Wylde?
Zakk Wylde was Ozzy Osbourne's guitar player for a very long time. He is the front man of Black Label Society. I was a metalhead when I was in middle school.
Interesting.
And he rips up the pentatonic scale like nobody of you've ever seen. And now, like, I don't know what he's doing now, but I was obsessed with him. Book of Shadows is the acoustic album that he has like influenced me so much when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Favorite celebrity crush? You may have already answered that, but
Jason Momoa.
Does Zayden count?
Zayden counts.
That's like a book crush.
But for me, it's Rhysand. You'll understand.
Okay, so my favorite celebrity crush, you guys are going to think this is weird, but I just like to lick their brain. So there's 2 people. So
and other things.
Stephen Bartlett, who is a podcaster, and I've met him in person. He is just delicious, and this is going to be weird if I ever meet him again or do anything that's with him. No, we're not talking about his girlfriend. We're talking about him. He's just so deliciously intelligent, and he's attractive. It's just his brain and the way that he speaks that makes him so attractive. My second crush is Trevor Noah. For the same reason.
Oh, yeah. Trevor Noah. He's cute.
He's cute. He's smart, and he's funny. I just like, if you sprinkle in comedy, which that's a whole other story, but I dated a comedian, and that was I will never do it again. I'll have to tell you offline who I dated.
If a guy is funny, they will talk you into a lot of situations. Like, you'll be.
Do you want me to tell you who I dated?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Shut up! Oh my God.
I have a whole story about that. And do you know how bad I want to talk about it?
We need to get dinner after this.
Yes. You know how bad I want to talk about it on my podcast, but I'm so afraid of being like sued for like slander or something.
Honestly, I get it. Like, whatever.
It's a juicy story.
I'm ready for the juice.
But after that, I'm like,
I don't get to hear it.
I'm done. Yeah, maybe one day. Okay. Well, speaking of comedians, favorite comedian?
God. Honestly, can I be okay? No, Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham. He does musical comedy. He's amazing.
Okay.
He also he blew up when he was like 16, 17 on YouTube. He started doing stand-up comedy specials, and he's very introverted. He made his director debut and with a film called 8th Grade, which is brilliant. He's brilliant.
Okay, I'll have to look into him.
Jason Momoa and Bo Burnham are kind of in the same running as Celebrity Kush, because I would totally destroy him. He's skinny. I could, crush him.
Does he have a Netflix special?
Yeah.
Okay, I think
he has a lot.
Okay, I think I've seen him before. Would you ever date another comedian?
Yeah, for sure. I love a guy that can make me laugh.
Okay,
but
they're attractive, but you gotta. It's just I'm burned. I'm traumatized from it. I
mean, if you're dating like a rich one, like a successful one, then that's great. But like most comedians are a little on the broke side, you know. So it's like, am I gonna pay for this McDonald's? Like, I'll drive you.
I don't know. I feel like comedians have trauma that they're still working through, but I could have just been traumatized by that one. Worst date you've ever had?
Okay. I was in Nashville. It was my first and only date that I had in Nashville before I met my ex. And we met at a park and it was really, really cute. He was really, really sweet. I met him at Applebee's. Should have known by then. And he started like talking about kids immediately. Mind you, I was like 19, like just almost turning 20. And I was like, I'm good. Like I don't need children right now. And then we decided to go to the restaurant and he hops into my car. Like he has his car. And by then I feel comfortable driving in his car. It was only down the road. He hops in my car and he's like getting in the fetal position, like in my car. And I'm like, okay, this is not attractive. And we drive and he's like, I forgot my wallet. And I was like, then we're going to turn around and get your wallet then. Cause I'm broke. Like I don't have money to go out at this point. Turn back around. He's singing, Party Rock is in the house tonight. So fucking loud in my ears the entire time. And he replays it over and over and over again. And then we get to the restaurant and he's in the fetal position again, like on the booth, like drawing something. And I was just like, this is the worst. This is the worst. It was awful.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
The worst dates are sometimes the most memorable though. Okay. We're going to do a quick with the last two. All right. What's your guilty pleasure?
Racetrack cheeseburgers. From
Racetrack.
gas station cheeseburgers, dude. They taste like school lunch hamburgers.
Interesting. Okay.
I can't get off them.
And who is your dream collaboration?
Maybelline.
Oh, I can see that for you.
Yeah. Like I know like collaboration with other creators, but I've always wanted to be like a cover girl or Maybelline.
I can so see that. So that's got to be your
Maybe she's born
manifestation.
with it. Maybe she has anxiety, you know.
We're going to plug that in and we'll tag Maybelline. Mandy, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so glad that we finally made this happen. You are hilarious. And I do agree. I think you're a light worker yourself and you just bring joy to the world. And so thank you for doing what you do. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and where it goes. So thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yay.